Beam is a high interest bank account. We pay 1.7 to 7% APY. And we're trying to consumerize and productize the high interest bank account product and try to eliminate what we call the invisible tax problem. I can explain later what that means.
Actually, explain to me now. What do you mean by invisible tax problem?
So most of your cash is sitting in a bank account at one of the big banks earning 0.01% interest, barely anything. Inflation is at 2%. Banks actually make 4 to 8% every year on every dollar you deposit in the bank. And so over time, if you had $100 in 2008, peak of financial crisis, today is worth $80. So that compounds significantly over time. We're trying to, essentially the people who actually don't have the wherewithal to invest, which is the vast majority of Americans today, are having their cash eroded year over year. So we try to eliminate that invisible tax. It's invisible because nobody talks about it. Nobody knows that, but it's really impacting everyone. And everyone has a checking account here. Everyone has a bank account here. And so that's the problem we're trying to solve.
Okay, that's great. But how are you doing that? Like, why are you able to give higher interest when other banks and so on can't? And by the way, there are other challenger banks that do also promise high interest. So are you guys following similar procedures to them? Explain how that works.
Yeah, so Beam is the only bank account out there that allows you to set your own rate. We basically believe that you as a consumer, first of all, it should be birthright of every American to be able to earn above inflation return on your cash. Secondly, we believe that you should actually control what rate you earn. Okay, the way it works is that we start with a minimum rate of 1.7%. You can actually make choices in the app, invite friends to earn beyond that. You can boost your interest rate for the day to up to 7%. And so that actually, from the feature standpoint, does allow most people to earn more.
How are you boosting it? I don't understand. Like, what do you actually do?
It's just our way to basically incentivize loyalty, essentially, for our app.
But how are you making money if you're giving them so much interest?
Great question.
The whole point is that banks give interest as a sort of thank you so that they can take the money and reinvest it elsewhere.
As a reminder, banks do make 4 to 8% every year on every dollar you deposit. So offering 1.77 is well within their means. What we do as Beam, as a software company, we match consumer who has deposit to banks who needs the deposit at any given point in time and willing to pay the most for it. So think of it as almost like a marketplace where we're actually allowing us to fulfill the banks who need deposit at any given time, who pays the highest, and allowing consumers to earn higher interest on their cash, FDIC insured.
Okay, so it's a sort of like a thank you because you're providing a more efficient back-end service between yourselves and other banks.
Banks who needs it. And of course, we eliminate overhead like most challenger banks do. We use software to bring down costs. Our heart is really at giving the maximum value to consumers, which obviously is not what most big banks try to do today.
Cool, well, good luck, and thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, we're good.